computer. Oh,
RU.com is at it again.
we're
Potato
at it again.
dog.
Oh, with the black cherry and the
No, you
uh,
can't. No, they're not sponsoring us, so we can't say the names. Just the flavors.
pamplemousse, and black cherry.
Oh well, you just basically said what brand you're drinking.
No,
There's
it's
not a
okay.
lot of drinks out there that actually use the term pimple mousse or pimple mousse.
Pimple mouse.
Yeah, pimple mouse.
It might be pample mouse. I don't know. It's got two S's. What about we were making jokes about dead mouse, right? And
Right.
I
I
was
was just about to say pimple mouse is dead mouse's cousin or something.
but what was the I can't think of the name of the group now. They just broke up after Daft
Daft
Punk.
Punk. Yes.
So
I
today
was
we
drinking, so I couldn't respond, but yes, Daft Punk. Unfortunately, one of them has exploded into smithereens, is no longer around.
Oh
So
man. Well, I
there's
think one of the guys from Daft Punk did a I think it was Daft Punk. It might have been no, because Dead Mouse is just one dude, right? But I think he did a master
mouse
class
actually.
and he took off his mask and he was like, "This is like sacrilege, isn't it? Yeah," because they're British.
Wait,
So
how did he say it? How did he say?
it's like sacrilege, isn't it, Governor? That's what he said. He said, "I look. You thought I was a robot? No, I'm a chimney sweep." Right? That's what he did.
Oh,
And then he
that's
taught a master class, and it was all like, "Isn't it? Isn't it? Right? Yeah, isn't it?" The whole time. Then he
right,
just, for
right.
whatever reason, would go Manchester United, right?
Spot of tea.
Well, no, he didn't drink tea. He's a
Why not?
he's a techno musician. They don't drink
They
tea.
all drink tea.
No, they just hit mates in the face with a twisted tea, don't they?
No, they all drink
Isn't
the
it?
tea.
When I was in England, we drank a lot of tea, and I'm not a tea drinker in general, but I drank a lot of tea.
That's because that's all they have. They don't have natural water.
No, you don't want to drink the water. It's like Mexico.
Yeah, exactly. Even Mexicans don't drink Mexican water.
Mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. How silly of us to talk about crumbling infrastructure in places like Mexico when
And then Flint, Michigan.
we have, and it's not just
It's
Flint. I think it's
basically the same fucking yeah. Oh, can't use that word. What is
ah,
censored?
it's the
Hey,
raspberries.
I need a beep thing
It's
that
that
helps
black
me.
cherry.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's making you curse.
Anyway,
Four-letter words like word,
I should say words like fluffin.
fluffin.
Yeah.
But that
Those
would get anybody in
fluffin
trouble.
people don't what? I don't know.
I met a guy that on the movie set, that was his job, was fluffing. And there was nothing offensive
McFluffin?
about it at all.
Yeah, they called him McFluffin.
How did you know he was Irish? So let's jump into this. What do
Oh
you
yeah,
got?
yeah, for sure. I got something for you. I got something for you right now, right now.
Excellent.
So, have you heard
No.
that the bird is the word? No, no, sorry. um,
Uh,
so you're nobody until you've got a designer baby.
oh, you're talking about eugenics.
I
Ah.
mean, I'm trying to keep it lighthearted, and then you like drop the scary words. No, no, no. It's like, you know, oh, oh, what's that?
Mhm.
You you what? So and so has a baby that has this color hair, and you thought it's cute? I think I'm gonna have my baby have that color hair too. And then you
Sure.
do it. And then you're like, Mr. Potato Head does something, Melanie Martinez song. I don't remember the
You
lyrics.
want
So
big red lips and a round nose? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, no.
And big
Melanie Martinez's
eyes that
song,
are attached?
Mrs. Potato Head, is about uh, making like the perfect woman. But
Well, Mr. Potato Head's not a good reference for the perfect woman.
it's the song. If you don't understand the song, you don't understand the song. Just say that and move on.
I've never heard the song, but I'm just
Okay.
imagining the perfect woman. Okay, so the little feet coming out of the bottom of the potato and the arms that dangle out, those are not what I would be interested in. But the trap on the back that I could put my stuff into, I'm
And then
kind of
don't
okay with
forget your
that.
angry eyes.
Oh, and if it talks like Don Rickles, I'm down. Hey there, hockey puck. I'm down.
Right. So yeah, I mean, think about that. How far can you go with designing your own baby? Like, can you have it already have like like little crystal gems on his face, like glitter skin,
purple
like
hair.
rainbow hair? Is this thing, is this like, does that cost extra? I don't know. Like, I would like to know.
A good question. I did see on a documentary once about eugenics, scientists talking about how it could be like a video game create player screen, right? So like Cyberpunk 2077, or like, Elder Scrolls or whatever, and you just create your child. But I want to know, like, are there things that, because we don't know a lot about what's nature and what's nurture.
Right.
So we don't quite understand some of those things. So like I don't have a total problem with eugenics necessarily, because if you have some weirdo tendencies, like Jeffrey Dahmer's dad said that he had some of the same tendencies that his son ended up having, and if you could like program that out of you so you don't have a Jeffrey Dahmer, but is that
part
go
of
against the nature of
that
God?
part of the package? The basic package.
Can you install the British accent upgrade?
Right. No, I think they have to really learn that one.
Or if you just name your kid something like Benedict Cumberbatch Schnizzle Snatch or something.
And then you just send them off to boarding school. Are there still boarding schools?
Oh yeah. We don't know about them because we're not in the Illuminati. But yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I'm in the Illuminati.
And I just drink out of aluminum.
No, so yeah, I don't know. Like, I could see how that is the worst thing ever. But if like you can have your kid be super cool, like flame hair and the ability to fly, then why not?
Yeah. And if you can program out things like obesity and type 2 diabetes while you're at it, might as well.
I mean,
and if you could design them to be a perfect TikTok star so they can make you a bunch of money.
They've already done that one. Designer babies have been around for a while,
Of course.
They're probably not even babies anymore. Now they're TikTok stars. They probably kick-started TikTok for them to survive.
Those early models, the test subjects that didn't quite work out so well, YouTube stars.
No, Musically.
Sorry,
Musically.
YouTubers.
Musically came out before TikTok, so it'd be Musically.
You're right. Would you do it though? Would you get a designer baby?
Only if it was actually, like, now being serious, if I could actually have it have really cool stuff, yes. Other than that, I think people should just be people. I don't know.
I think it would require a pretty large cultural shift for it to be something that would be like considered okay. Because we're actually in a better spot now where, everything used to be called a disorder.
Well, I think that it yeah, anything that you say, oh well, I don't want my kids to have this thing that I have,
Yeah. Yeah.
I get that. The thing is that it's going to be used. It's going to be abused, basically. It's
Yeah, of
people are
course.
going to use it and be like, "Hi, I'm a racist, and so I want my kid to flippin', fluffin',
Yeah.
uh."
Well, I used to
Because
hear these.
I don't want to use the actual word. What is it? Blue hair, blue. Wait, no, blonde hair, blue eye. I can't
Oh,
remember
like me,
their rules.
like me. They all want me. Yeah, blonde hair just means that it's going to get really fine and thin out. That's usually what it means.
Yeah, so that it will ultimately end up being used for not good. So
Right.
that's where the sadness, I guess, is of it. Like, yes, it would be great to make these people that don't have to suffer the way that we did. Because I don't know what older generations obsession is with having people suffer. It's like, oh, these kids don't know suffering. If they had suffered like I did, like, you don't want. The whole point is to make the world a better place. Why would
Yeah.
you want future people to suffer?
Well,
Be
because
happy that people don't suffer.
it supposedly builds character, right? So
Oh,
that's where it comes from.
supposedly.
Well, it does it because some people end up being just douchebags afterwards. You know what I mean? And they blame everybody for their suffering, take it out on the
Well,
world.
then in that case, that person didn't come out all right. They are suffering in the way that they don't know empathy.
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, I grew up in the 80s and 90s, so I would hear people say all the time about interracial couples. Do you want your children? Why would you want your children to have a hard time? That's what they would always say. Like, they're going to
Mm-hmm.
have a hard enough time. Why would you want children that are going to have a hard time? And that was, you think about that, you're talking about the product of love. Um, and we're talking about literally a child that doesn't exist yet. So it's just a concept. We
Yeah.
have no idea what that child's going to look like, and basically
It's just
dismissing
a
them.
twinkle in their eye.
Yeah. And just dismissing that person as something that's not, oh, no, I would love the child, but they're going to have such a hard time. And it's like, okay, well, how far does that go?
Right.
How far does that go? Yeah.
Right.
I don't know. I think the best way to have a success is going to be not something that you could genetically program. But I think there are a lot of things that we need to figure out. Like if we can cure polio and it makes the world a better place, then sickle cell anemia might be something to look at getting rid of, and that's a genetic thing. So I'm not totally against it, but I do think that there is the possibility of abuse.
Also, the if designer babies exist, does that mean knockoff babies exist?
Oh, now you're talking. What? I'm going to the flea market and I'm gonna pick me up some jeans.
What would be a knockoff baby? Like, that's
And you wouldn't be able to tell the difference a lot of times. It's just the stitching. You have
right.
to look really carefully at the stitching.
Yeah, what would that be? Like, oh, this, you could tell this one's a knockoff because sure, you got that baby to have the blue eyes, but actually one of them isn't fully blue. There's a little bit of brown in there. Like, that's how you can tell it's a knockoff.
Or they did all the work after the baby was born. It's Sharpie.
Sharpie. No.
So I was recently they've come out with this. I'm not changing stuff. So
Sure.
recently they came out with a bunch of documentaries that have been really illuminating, and I'm really interested in watching a few, like Allen versus Pharaoh. I want to watch really badly.
Oh yeah.
There's a bunch. I tried to watch that Cecil Hotel thing on Netflix. I couldn't get past the second episode. It was so
Why?
redundant. Is this really? They repeated themselves over and over again. There's 10 minutes of like, oh, so we're from England, didn't we? And we went to LA, right? And we drank the water. And it's like, well, that just say that you drank the water. We didn't need 10 minutes of your Trivago review.
They needed their 15 minutes of fame.
Well, they got it then, and then they somehow they could have just used the clip from them on the news going, right, we drank the water, didn't we? But anyway,
Mhm.
I don't know why we keep coming back to the British thing.
I watched it. I enjoyed it, and I'm very frustrated with it. But continue.
Yeah, yeah. So the two, I haven't watched the Britney one yet, but I did watch the Lorena Bobbitt one that Jordan Peele produced. And
Oh, I'll have to check that one out.
really interesting because it changes your perception on things. Like I already felt bad for Britney Spears. I think it's a little bit of a complicated issue, and I don't know a lot about it. So I know that I'll learn a lot by watching the documentary.
I just think
Um,
that, Hollywood has failed a lot of women out there.
oh yeah, I mean South
Mandy
Park did it.
Bynes needs one. Paris Hilton needs one. Like, those are all documentaries that need to be made.
Hmm.
Because Lindsay Lohan,
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, what's interesting is they tried to do that for Anthony Weiner, and it backfired because then he had another scandal break out in the middle of the documentary. And there's a scene where he's in the back of the limousine, and he's sitting there all like broken. His wife has left him. His campaign's over, and the documentarians from around the corner go, and they're British. So here we go
Oh
again.
my gosh.
They go, why are you letting us film this? And he goes, no.
He what? Your sound cut out, so I didn't hear what you said.
He goes, I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Because it was over at that point.
Yeah.
Like, why are we still filming? I feel weird. This is your personal moment. So anyway, I'm excited about the Billie Eilish one. I'm sure I'll learn some stuff.
Oh yeah, I saw that and I was like, oh, he's probably gonna watch it.
Yeah, I'm excited. It comes out on Friday. I don't have Apple TV though, so
Oh, well, I mean, who does?
who does? Nobody does. That's why they put it out on Apple TV to try to get millions of people to watch it. But can you think
Just
of
get
an
it off of
example?
Pirate Bay.
Can you think of an example of a time when I mean, it happens all the time, where you have a preconceived notion, where you thought you knew a situation, and then you learn more information, you saw a documentary or something, and it totally changed your point of view on it.
Oh, well, yeah, for sure. I mean, just that whole Britney Spears situation. Um, I guess it's more that I made a realization as I got
Mm-hmm.
older. So my whole thing with Britney Spears is that when I was younger, so it goes back to middle school, okay? Middle school, I had a crush on this guy, and he had just purchased the CD. So why did he even have it in class? I don't know. But he had Baby no wait. Baby One More Time. Whatever. Her first album.
I can't.
No,
Yeah.
no. It's Baby Hit Me One More Time.
Okay.
The first one.
Yeah. I don't know.
Not Oops, I Did It Again. That's a different. That's
But that's the song. Hit me, baby. Yeah, it's the same.
But you said Oops, I Did It Again though.
Isn't
Anyway,
that how it starts?
Uh Baby One More Time. And he looked at me. I was sitting across from him. We had just gotten our desks moved, and I was sitting across from him. And I guess because he's a middle school boy and he's just the worst. Middle school boys are the worst. I don't know what they're thinking. Anyway,
school especially, yeah.
he's looking at the CD. He looks up at me, and I'm like, oh my God. And I do remember his name, Trevor Buckingham, which his last name is Buckingham.
Shout out to Buckingham. Trevor Buckingham. Right, yeah.
He looks up, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is it. He's gonna talk to me. Ah! And he says these words ripped right through me, and this was like, I did not have a good rest of my year there from this moment on. Like, not just because of what he said, because like, whatever, then people continued bullying me. But he said, this is a real girl. You will never look like this. Why would you say that? Why? What is wrong with you?
That dude is toxic. It's horrible.
I'm just sitting there like,
You should have said, "Well, cry me a river."
no, and no, because fluff Justin Timberlake. We
Well,
don't
that,
like
yeah,
that guy. He's
yeah. He's
garbage.
in. He makes a brief cameo in the Allen versus Pharaoh.
Oh,
No, I don't know that he
anyway,
does. He made a
so
movie with him.
so from then that point on, I had this like burning hate for
Mm.
Britney Spears. It wasn't her fault. It was
Mm-mm.
not her fault
No.
that he was garbage, that he said that to me. But
Right.
in my middle school brain, it was like, because of this girl, Trevor thinks I'm less than. So I
Yeah.
didn't like Britney Spears for the longest time. So things were happening to her, and I was just like, good. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, she got her heart broken? Good. And
Mm.
then I actually listened to one of the CDs. I borrowed it from a friend, forgot to give it back. So I guess that's stealing. And I was like, low key, I like these songs. I get where she's coming from. She's just like me. She's going through stuff. This was still like her second album, but
Yeah.
still on the outside I'm like, no, I'm still going to stand my ground and say, fluff Britney Spears. No one
Yeah.
cares about her.
I'm an
Then
Avril Lavigne fan.
I mean, I was an Avril Lavigne fan,
Yeah,
but
I do
then
it. You do it.
yeah.
You're a wild
But then as I got older, I realized that not just her, with a lot of celebrities, a lot of female celebrities. I'm like, why are they being treated this way? Like this is
Yeah.
messed up. The Rolling Stones cover that she did, I don't know if you remember that. She's holding Tinky Winky. Yeah, it was Tinky Winky. She's holding Tinky Winky, and I think she just had like a corset top, or maybe just like a crop top,
Probably
but
crop top.
it was something like that, and people were like, oh, now she's getting all sexual. Like, well, she's
The
18.
first album, she
Do
was
what she
sexual.
wants. No, not really,
Yeah,
but
she's in the schoolgirl outfit. She's like, and people were
what
like, "Where are
what
her
about a
parents?"
schoolgirl outfit makes you feel sexual?
You don't think that was deliberate? It was deliberate. And people
It's
were like,
cute.
"Where are her parents?" And we
It's
found out where
cute.
her father is. Her father is,
That outfit was cute.
making her
That's
money.
all it was. Why can't girls just wear cute outfits without automatically being told that it's being sexual? Anyway, that's the point that
video
I'm trying to
was
make.
very sexual. It was
No,
intended
it
to be.
wasn't. It
Oh,
wasn't though, but okay. She's 18. She was an adult, and she was on the Rolling Stone cover, and people automatically started saying, "Hey, that cover is very sexual." It wasn't. She was
but
just
it was just a crop top. Yeah, exactly.
yeah, so that was what it was, is that people were attacking her just for being her age. And that happens a lot, where just celebrities are just being their age, and people are like, well, think about your young fans. Like, well, why are these young fans so invested in the older stuff of this person? They could still be interested in the younger stuff. I know plenty of younger kids that there's their first time listening to Hannah Montana. It doesn't mean that now they're going to do everything that Miley Cyrus does.
Right. Well,
There's
JoJo
still,
Siwa, she's going through it right now too.
yeah, and she's getting older too. And it's cool if she's still making music that kids and parents can listen to. But if there's words that like parents don't want their kids to listen to, like two of the little kids that I babysit, their parents don't want them to say "but." They don't want them to hear the word "but."
But
Okay,
they can't help it.
that's they prefer the word "bottom,"
Okay.
which could be something else. But anyway, we're gonna move on from there.
Right.
So there you go. It's just the parents parenting. It'd be like, hey,
Sure.
I would prefer if you don't listen to this older stuff. So I'm not going to let you listen to this person's things now that they're older. How about you just stick to the younger age music, and as you get older, you can listen to their older stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult to be a parent, so I kind of understand. You kind of trust your children with certain
Hmm.
celebrities. It's kind of weird that you kind of do that. The only one you could do that with is Weird Al, and he has a twisted sense of humor. So
Hmm.
you know what I mean? Like, there's not going to be very many celebrities that don't cross off some bar of being a normal human being. They're adults,
Hmm.
you know. Even kid celebrities. You know, you ever hear some kids play on their Twitch account? They all sound like PewDiePie.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I think it's I did watch the documentary. I wasn't planning on watching it because I knew all the stuff that had happened. I lived through it. And
Yeah,
then I mean, I was around, I was watching it as it was happening.
right.
And yeah, I knew a lot of the stuff that had happened because yeah, I had always kept an eye on stuff that was happening with Britney Spears. And a lot of people are surprised by it, and I'm just like, yeah, you guys, come on. This and once again, I said, I'm like, this isn't only just happening to her. This happened to a lot of celebrities that um they went through so much stuff, and of course they acted the way they did, and everyone instantly made them be like the villains
Yeah.
when people don't know what they were going through.
Well,
Like
you
the whole
take
thing when she shaved her arm, she shaved her head.
yeah, and then smash
Yeah, she was
paparazzi
done.
windows
She
with
was done
umbrellas.
being,
Yeah,
huh?
and smash paparazzi windows with umbrellas.
She didn't. She just attacked the truck because she was telling them to leave her alone, and they
Yeah.
wouldn't stop leaving her alone. So in a moment of, anger, she's like, "Ah," and just did it. The thing is, for the longest time, that whole pop princess title was shoved onto her. And
Sure.
everyone wanted her to be that pop princess when she
Right.
never asked to be that.
Well, I mean, South Park sometimes hits the mark and sometimes misses. They hit the mark right on the nose with their Britney Spears episode, where they were basically sacrificing. She was a sacrificial lamb. I don't know. You have to watch the episode, but
Hmm.
it was pretty great. Where they pick somebody to sacrifice to the gods, and that one was Britney. But yeah, 10 years before that, I mean, and in between you had Princess Diana and stuff like that. But 10 years before that was Lorena Bobbitt, she was just a woman, just a regular person,
Right.
and she became the big thing. And Tanya Harding at the same time, basically, it's crazy, crazy. But yeah, I mean, I always recommend watching these, and then also on the inverse of that, I remember watching Making a Murderer on Netflix, and you'd go back and forth watching. You're like, I think he did it. No, I don't think he did it. The filmmakers very much had an agenda to make it look like Stephen Avery could not possibly have killed that woman who
Hmm.
basically erased in that series. That's one of the biggest things that happens is they basically erase her. She's just the victim. It's not
Right.
that important. But doing all the research after watching the documentary, there's no way he didn't do it. He absolutely killed her. There's no
Hmm.
way. And so yeah, I don't know that watching a documentary is 100%. Watching a documentary in a lot of ways is like not getting the real designer baby, getting the knockoff.
Right. Right.
A
Right.
lot of
Right. Right.
ways. Mm-hmm.
The designer baby is actually, like I said, watching it the whole time in real time as it's going on and paying attention to what's happening to those celebrities that then later you're like, that came out of nowhere. No, it's been stewing for a while. You just weren't watching.
Right. What you really need are actual natural genes
Yeah.
and DNA of looking at things and questioning. Like, I don't know, Craig Ferguson went viral recently. You know, David Letterman got into trouble. David Letterman used to do it to a lot of guests. What he did to Lindsay Lohan, that was part of his shtick. I always was uncomfortable with it. I remember Paris Hilton being on the show one time, and he kept talking about her being in prison, and she was like, "I don't want to talk about that." He goes, "Well, that's funny. That's all I want to talk about." And everybody
Oh
laughed,
man.
and that
Yeah.
was really uncomfortable.
Right.
He made a lot of his guests cry, not just Lindsay, but he's still the goat. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing, is like nobody's perfect, and that is really a glaring,
Nobody's
horrible.
perfect.
Exactly. And in our culture, that's a big negative thing that we all have to look at. We can't just say, "Oh, that's just David Letterman. He's a douchebag." It's our culture. And Craig Ferguson, he went viral recently because he was like, "I'm not going to do that Britney joke." And he does this whole thing. He was like, I was thinking of my weekend where I'm sober now, and I was thinking about the kind of weekend that Britney Spears had, and I'm not going to just keep punching down on her. I'm going to think about
Right.
my jokes before I do that. And he said that probably in 2005. Um, yeah. So just question the narrative, question the culture, and we can do better.
Right.
And if
We
it
could
doesn't
always do
work,
better, and we don't need those designer babies.
yeah, exactly.
Peace.
Where's the button?